project I did the Psyche of artists, and how understanding how artists think and how they view the world differently helps us understand art and appreciate it a little better. First thing we need to understand is where does inspiration come from? Is creativity learned? Are we born with it? Are we all born with it? And then the answer lie in understanding the psyche of artists themselves. It starts in the brain. Creativity starts in the ventral medial prefrontal lobe and comes out through the dorsolateral prefrontal lobe, which is in the front part of your brain right here. The DLPFL is the censorship bureau of the brain and has been confirmed to become less active during the process of creativity. Meaning any idea that we get into our minds, it goes through our dorsolateral prefrontal lobe to be kind of edited before it comes out. With artists and creative people, this part of the brain is less active, so you get more honest, more true, genuine thoughts. And artists and creative people have more mental workspace, which just means that they can solve more intricate problems and brainstorm new ideas easier. It means they actually use more of their brains. The special qualities of artists, they think before they act. Because they have all this raw material in their brains, their thought patterns take a slower process of their brain, and it's more thought out, more logical. And they're naturally curious, which means once they collect data in their minds, they play with it. That's where they get their inspiration and their ideas. Motivation for creating art. Is the artist creating art just as an empty, made-to-shock gesture, which we see a lot in today's media, of course? And then does the artist act eccentric because they believe that's what their audience wants? They believe if they act eccentric or they make shock gestures, they're going to get a bigger audience. And then the third one, which is the most interesting, is have they left their inner psyche open for us to view? They're honest, and they generally want to get their ideas out to be appreciated as artists and as creative people. What makes a good artist? A successful artist can push the boundaries of convention just to the right amount. Not too much and not. They do this by using their emotions to their advantage. It's been proven that when creative people face their emotions head on, and they try to draw something good out of them, mainly their creativity. When an artist or creative person has a trauma in their life or just a bad day, they take all that negative energy and they turn it into something creative, their artwork. And non-artists have a hard time doing this, especially if they have highly professional positions, because they get themselves into a mindset to be professional, to control their emotions. However, artists don't do this because it's their job to be creative. Okay, origins of inspiration. Many artists are sensitive people who have had troubles in their life but choose to make something good from them. They can use the art as therapy, escapism, and self-expression. For non-artists, this can kind of be compared to coming home at the end of a hard day and watching your favorite TV show and getting lost in it, or lost in a good book. This is how they deal with everyday life. All right. The strength of artists. Artists pour a lot of themselves into their work, and they open up their emotions for the audience. This requires a lack of fear of vulnerability. Artists turn their audience into their confidants, meaning how some people who are not artists, not as creative as they don't do art or writing or music, they will come and talk to somebody that they care about, their loved ones that they have a problem, and that's what a confidant is, someone that you can find your emotions in. Artists have the ability to use their audience to do this. All right. Henry Ward Beecher once said, "Every artist dips his brush into his own soul and paints his own nature into his picture." So when you look at art, you're looking in the in-depth psyche, the heart of the artist, or in music and writing as well, but we'll send it for artists in this class. All right. One artist that did this was Salvador Dali. He had to come to terms with the fact that his parents named him after his deceased brother, whom they believed he was a reincarnation of. He never felt he had an identity of his own until he started doing art. He always had to deal with the fact that he was a replacement child for his parents. And then when he started doing art, he carved out his own identity in his own life. And that's his picture there. Another artist that did this was Grayson Perry. He used his art to therapy an unhappy childhood. His father left him at age 7, and his stepfather, who was a semi-professional wrestler, would bully and abuse him. He painted images of his abuse on vases, and this helped him to work through his emotions. I didn't pick mad, kind of unstable, just in some extreme cases. However, there is a connection between mental illness and some traits of artists. Like Michelangelo screamed at statues and chose to live in poverty despite his wealth, and Da Vinci wore loudly colored short tunics. And the guy on the left is Michelangelo, and Da Vinci's on the right. Many artists show signs of bipolar disorder, such as Da Vinci, Michelangelo, but the thing is, if they didn't have this slight disorder, then they probably wouldn't be able to create the art they did, because their minds wouldn't have worked in the same way, and the inspiration wouldn't have been there. Another syndrome that's common with artists or extremely creative people is this Asperger's syndrome, and its symptoms included perseverance, perfectionism, a complete disregard for social conventions, and being unconcerned about the opinions of others. This syndrome makes artists be able to be artists on a whole other level, like Andy Warhol. The perfectionism, the perseverance are the two main things that can help create art and make it as good as some of Andy Warhol's work. All right. Scans of creative individual brains show similarities to that of schizophrenics. Not that they have it, it's just, hang on, I'll explain in a minute. All right. The brain on the left is the artist's brain, and if you look at the pink kind of orange area that's lit up, and then compare it to the brain of the schizophrenic to the dark green area, you can kind of see some of the same areas are lit up. And this is because artists and creative people have been studied, and it shows that they have a gene called the neurogluin-1 gene, and it's more active in creative people, and it reduces the PFL's filtration and can cause symptoms of schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. Another mental illness, not mental illness, it's a slight mental difference that allow artists to create art, is psychosis. It's a mental condition which causes the patient to lose in touch with reality. This is common with creative people, from comedians to writers to musicians and artists. On an extreme level, it is something that they have to deal with, but on a slight level, it lets them have more inspiration and more creativity. I actually interviewed a friend of mine who's a local artist here in Cartersville. Her name is Stacy Chapel. And I asked her, do artists really see the world differently? And she said yes, that she believed that they did. She said that she finds herself describing things like with lines and colors and shapes in everyday life. And she loved to feature old dead trees in her artwork because it reminded her of elderly people. And it always seemed like the trees had a story to tell, like her Papa Sonny, who passed away in January. If you knew him, he always told stories. So I can see the connection that she's trying to make. And this is how she faced losing her grandfather and kind of preserving his memory and help her work for her grief. Then I asked her, why do artists create art in general? And she said sometimes she made art just because the inspiration was there. Other times she made art to express her feelings or to work through something frustrating that was bothering her. That's the end of it.